Pac-12, you sexy mother lover. We are back, and we are back with the Pac-12 After Dark. Let's lock in.
If you're interested in being great, you better look hard into Washington State. You want to be great? Go to Washington State, baby.
Gentlemen, we are back. The Pac-12 is revived and thriving. And yes, we got our Miller Lights in hand. Yes, we got our boozies in hand. We are ready for the 2026 and the brand new generation of the Pac-12, featuring San Diego State, Utah State, Fresno State, Boise State, Oregon State, Texas State. Am I missing any states? Gonzaga, Dallas Baptist, and of course, yours truly, Washington State. Of course, thank you to my camera. We couldn't be live if my camera wasn't auto correcting itself.
We are so
back. We are so far back. July 1st, today is the day. Boys, how we feeling?
Well, I just love the fact that we're opening up Pac-12, and as far as Washington State goes, we're welcoming everybody. And you see that message like, welcome to the Pac-12. We've been running this for quite some time, and I'm looking forward to continue running this, boys. And I know we've taken a few weeks off, but man, my foot's been bouncing. I'm like just excited. It's been a good off season, man. And with this new Pac-12, we're feeling hot. We're feeling ready to go.
It's been a heck of a day, man. It's been a heck of a day. I've been sitting at my computer. I think I got 2 hours of sleep last night, and I've been sitting at my computer just knocking so many things out and talking to so many new people. And I'm so glad we're here. I'm so glad we're here. I mean, this has just been, I've thought about this day for a very long time, and now it's actually here. So I'm just so excited. It's going to be such a fun journey, such a fun adventure for this new Pac-12 conference.
Also, for those of you out there that are unfamiliar, Christian, obviously loyal to our crew and has been loyal to our crew, but also a new endeavor. And something that you definitely need to check out is selling like hotcakes with subscriptions over there. The new and improved from the Pac-12 Daily, now on to Locked On Pac-12. If you aren't already following, if you aren't already subscribed, if you aren't already listening, get over there. There's at least 15 episodes per day, I think is kind of what this guy's on. We're in the realm. No, at least 2 or 3 episodes per day being pumped out all around the new Pac-12. So if you guys want to stay locked in or locked on to new Pac-12 Daily, you're going to love it. You're going to go over there. You're going to check it out. You're going to see Oregon State stuff. You're going to stay in tune with the rest of the conference, especially with this new Snake River rivalry. I want to start off with that, but first, before actually getting into that, Chad, I'm going to kick it over to you. We had something really cool happen.
The Confederate Tribes of Colville came through, and I say that in a manner of just really when it comes to WSU and what we stand for. We didn't quickly put another logo on our jersey. We waited for something that made sense for the Palouse. It made sense for the economy. It made sense for Pullman, WSU, and what we stood for. And I love hearing the stories over the last 48 hours of when this news broke, and a sizable 5 years, $8.43 million agreement that is going to be really in a huge infusion into WSU athletics, WSU in general. I think it's great for the economy for the east side of Washington. I think it's a great step forward for WSU athletics, getting somebody to really step up to help out. I think a big part of the east side of Washington, just really the economy itself, Washington State, a huge part of what that side of the state is. So, I look at it, it's a huge bet on WSU athletics. And I feel like it's primed at the right time with WSU. WSU going into this new Pac-12. I feel like we're firing all cylinders. This is perfect timing for WSU athletics. And it's something we've needed. Right. We have a lot of great supporters at WSU. like everybody's raising their hand. I feel like the last 2 years, what can I do to do more to help out Cougar Collective? I feel like all my friends and everybody that I've been involved with at WSU Athletics since, being an equipment manager back in the day, like everybody I've talked to tried to raise their hand in some kind of way. So it's nice to really see that economically happen in the state of Washington. So, boys, I don't think I've been this excited about WSU Athletics in a long time. And it's crazy too, because I feel like 8 weeks ago when we, kind of gave it a little bit of a summer break and we had this same kind of mantra, but we've taken a step forward. I mean, like, call me crazy, but like, this is a huge step forward for WSU Athletics, WSU football. I think it's a testament to really what we've done from a staff and like how they position things. I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Well, since Kirby Morris stepped on campus, I've noticed there's been a upward trajectory of a lot of different things. This happens to fall right in line, and during his short tenure, it's already involved in that. I did have a follow-up question for you. I did see something along the lines of, Harlow was approached about how we're going to spend this money, and it looks like maybe not all of it's going to NIL, or maybe not even any of it is going to NIL. Did you see anything on that, and do you see kind of where that money could really benefit the athletics of Wazoo?
I want to call a spade. Like, when there was a change when everybody kind of left us in Oregon State around, like there's a change there economically. So I think WSU is looking at this more of a lifeline that we needed. I mean, you've heard Cantwell talk about, like, we need donations. We need people to step up. Like, this is what she was waiting for. Right. And that's my honest take on it. And I probably imagine she agree with that. So like, this is huge. We need more of this. I'd say really, if we want to really take that step forward and really continue to be elite and keep good coaches around, because we have what we need. We have each other. I think we have a good staff in place. And so continue to build off this and create the momentum. We got all of it on our side. Big Mo is on the Cougar side.
Let's go. Christian, I'm going to toss it over to you. You love making me plant flags and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to you on this one. A lot of back and forth. Right off the bat, we got to get this thing started. It's the new day, new era, new Pac-12. We're going to get this thing started with a little bit of heat. A lot of back and forth about, are we Power 4? Should we be Power 4? Where do we stand? Yeah, I'm going to put you on the spot, buddy. Christian, where are we? Most likely, I'm probably going to agree with you, but let me hear your thoughts. Where does this, if we're not Power 4, what do we need to kind of make forward progression?
Well, if we're getting each other back, let me say the word shit so I can get you back for saying that on my show the other day.
Thank you.
Other than that, man, look, it's tough. As much as I want to be like and say, the Pac-12 should be seen as a power conference. They were before. I'm going back to what Chad just said. You should call a spade a spade. You absolutely should. And right now, based on the money that is coming into this conference right now, and I think that's more of the size of the conference, not the value of the amount of teams or the value of the actual teams. I just think of the size, because we're still a small conference. Right now, you have to be considered a group of 6. And maybe if you wanted to make the argument and call yourself in the middle of there, where you're not in the group of 5, you're not in the Power 4, you're kind of in like a purgatory. I've made that argument before, because I think eventually you as the Pac-12 will get yourself back up to that power status with that new Protect College Football Sports Act that's coming out. That's eventually going to happen. The Protect College Sports Act that will be coming out eventually. It'll most likely get passed, has a lot of momentum. One of the things that they talk about with the other power conferences, the other 4 conferences, they discuss that once they reach a certain threshold in money, and that number right now, it's an arbitrary number, but right now that number is $700 million. That's really the indicator at this moment. Because right now, power conferences, group of 6, that's all just he say, she said. It's just literally just a phrase for someone to use for a conference. This new Protect College Sports Act is actually going to change that and actually make some sort of definition. And I think it's going to be a $700 million threshold. You can't do that with 8 teams. You can't do that with 9 teams when you include Gonzaga into the basketball. You almost have to double that to get yourself in there. So eventually, I know we're talking on July 1st, the day of the brand new conference. I don't want to continue to talk expansion or realignment, but it is coming down the road. And the Pac-12 does have to act as early adopters They have to make sure that they have some strategic moves. And so far, what we've seen from Teresa Gould and we've seen from the rest of these university presidents and leadership, that they are right-minded for where this future leads. But if they want to get back to where that quote unquote power status is, they're going to have to reach that $700 million threshold. The way they do that is add another 6 to 8 schools, and you're going to have to find a way to do that. So there's a lot of interesting creative ways you can, but right now, plant my flag with this long-winded answer. Yeah, you're a group of 6 conference. You have to take it where you have to take the licks where you can.
I got to follow up to that because it seems like when that first came out, a lot of people in the Coug culture and Coug community were very much against it because it sounds like, oh, we wouldn't be able to add to our conference. They're putting a full stop on all additions to the conference. That's not the case. And how you just described it, it's actually eliminating the Power 4 schools or the people that deem themselves Power 4 schools from taking anybody and leaving a conference like us, Sunbelt American, any other these non-$700 million conferences to then still add. So it sounds like it actually benefits the Pac-12. Is that the correct understanding to it?
It's a two-way street here when you're looking at fans of especially Washington State and Oregon State, in my opinion. You have some side of the fan base that wants to get promoted into the power conferences no matter what, because they still feel like they were left behind after all the stuff that happened in the past. Understandable argument. I get that. But if you're a fan of Washington State and the Pac-12, you want to remain in the Pac-12, I think this is actually a really good thing, because that is correct. Right now with this new Protect College Sports Act, if you have that $700 million threshold, you're basically frozen at wherever you're at. You can't add, you can't move, you can't bring any new people in, but that doesn't change anything for what the other conferences can do. So, for example, if we get this and this gets approved as it stands right now, the Big 12 will hit that $700 million threshold. So 4 of those conferences will have that. Those Power 4 schools, the ACC, the Big 12, the SEC, and the Big 10 will not be able to add anymore if this gets accepted. Well, who's the next conference that is seen as the top one in charge? I think we can all agree that that's the Pac-12. If other schools sitting in the MAC, Sacramento State, they just went to the MAC. That's a weird thing, but they're regional. Some of the American that almost worked out, but it fell through. If they find themselves saying, well, we want to get to that power status, we think there's a lot of ways to grow, but right now we're kind of sitting in this weird spot. Well, let's merge finally with the Pac-12 and get ourselves into that kind of conversation so we can get to that $700 million threshold. That's where the Pac-12 leverage comes in, and that's where I think they stand a really good spot.
Chad, kicking it over to you, this Power 4 status and just the new direction of this Pac-12, what would you like to see moving forward as we are just starting this brand new journey in a brand new era?
Well, I think Cantwell and everybody within the Pac-12 is going to take it day by day. I don't think they're going to rush in any kind of thing. Nothing that they've said has told me they're going to expand beyond the West Coast or maybe Texas, right? It's going to be like Midwest. So what does that look like? How does that make sense? How do they combine, make it a true West Coast conference? I don't really see other teams that really create that value. So that's what makes you think about like that expansion. And then really to answer your question, getting to a Power 4, I don't care. I mean, like from WSU standpoint, like where we are, I like where we sit. Like this year, in this moment, going to this season, this is all I care about. This is all Coach Moore's thinking about. This is all the guys in that locker room are thinking about. They're thinking about the seat at the table, right? It's like this, and it's like we haven't had a real full practice with the full squad yet. We still got to see it happen, but there's an imagination you can have where, like, as Coug fans, this is what we're striving for. This is what you got. The guys in that locker room have to have that same kind of goal, right? So I feel like we're in a really good spot going beyond the season. What does that look like for WSU? Do we have to change with how the landscape of college football? Yes, we will. We always have.
That's Coug always finds a way, baby.
That's the most, like, change is the most consistent thing in a human's life, right? And then I feel like as far as a Cougar, being able to understand that and being able to adapt really well, because we're great at a party, it will be fine. So I can tell you, boys, I'm thinking about this year to answer your question. Power 4, we don't need to be Power 4. Beyond this year, getting to a Power 5, whatever that means, do we have to create it? We'll probably be leading it. So sounds good.
Yeah, just to Just to stamp what you're saying, we are the party. Christian, tossing it over to you.
I just want to say one thing that I agree with you. I don't think it matters. I don't think we care. The only thing that I think matters is that getting in more of an equal seat at the table when it comes to college football playoffs.
Sure.
That is the only thing to where this definition actually matters. Right now, I'm so excited with this conference, exactly where it stands. I hate the fact that we're talking realignment the day that it starts, but it's going to be the conversation talking point for the next 3.5 years until this media deal starts over again. But I didn't mean to cut you off, Gavin, but what I'm saying is, like, yes, 100% yes, do not care. Just have to get a better seat at the table. And if you can find a way to get a better seat at the table, then I'm okay for it.
Well, let me add my 2 cents in on that topic. I wouldn't even say that this is talking about realignment on day one. This is the start of our journey. It's not about where you start, it's about where you finish. And this conference has so much more to add to college football, and not just to college football, to college athletics. It gets you pumped up about what the future of this new conference is. So me, just as a fan of Wazoo and as a fan of the Pac-12, I'm not talking more along the lines of realignment. I'm talking about the future of this great conference that we are about to move forward with without the others. The ones that left us in the dust. Here we are. We're moving on. We're thriving and surviving. We're not surviving. We're thriving with a brand new, and you can call it the Mountain West 2.0. I don't care. We're moving forward with a brand new group of boys.
One ripple, I'll say, this is the first time where I've thought, because of that rule change that could happen, Christian, where I've thought, well, maybe Cal and Stanford do come back. Do I want them? No, but that's where it could make sense.
Yeah, I don't.
In a realignment, AAC changes,
Yeah, I don't think it's as far-fetched as a lot of people give it credit for. Some people are like, well, the ACC has, a ton of money. Well, one, they're not getting a full rev share. That's one thing. And I don't know how many times that I've heard, either reporters of those schools, insiders talk about it, or just fans talk about it. And we're hearing it from officials as well from those schools, that they can't stand sending their non-revenue sports to the other side of the country.
0 cents.
They can't stand it. So if something changes in 2030 and they don't get a more better even share inside the ACC, I could see them potentially trying to get their way back. I think they try to make their way back first by most likely probably stopping either in the Big 10 or Big 12 first. I'll be honest, that's probably where they try first. But I don't see them liking that either. And I think they will eventually try themselves to get back into this conference. That has been something that I have definitely speculated for sure.
All right. Before we move on, I need to raise my hand. I need to apologize. Kyle Knowlesy. Knowlesy's not on right now, but I need to apologize. He wants Cal and Stanford back. I poo-pooed it. Now I might be wringing myself back in.
All right. Come on back.
Sorry, buddy. If you're listening, cheers.
Also, if you're listening out there currently, we are live. We are not, this is not pre-recorded. This is live currently going on. If you have any questions, if you want to be a part of the conversation, please, whether you're listening on Twitter or watching on Twitter or watching on YouTube, please leave your comments. We want you to feel engaged. This is a conversation with you guys. You guys are also part of the new Pac-12 as well. So, and if you're listening to this post, feel free to drop a comment. We want to hear what your thoughts are on this new Pac-12. Wazoo, Kirby Moore, the Colville Tribes, putting in some millions of dollars towards this new Wazoo and the new Pac-12. Slightly switching gears here, guys. Last December, I came out with a top 50 uncommitted list, and this one I put at the number one, and him and I have gone back and forth on Twitter. I was a big fan of this kid. He was my number one uncommitted player from Bellevue High School, right down the road. Nick Nora, he's a Coug. He is coming. Let me go ahead and just share because he posted it finally. Now we can actually talk about it. But here he is. Here's his Instagram, and boom, bang, pow. Nick Nora is coming to Wazoo. Played on both sides of the ball. He was an electric wide receiver, an electric, I believe, a free safety D-back. This guy, you're gonna love this guy. All around athlete, as you can see, played basketball, and man, it just you got to watch the highlights on this guy. Or if you haven't seen the top 50 uncommitted video, go back and watch it. He was easily number one in the state, and you just couldn't be more happy that this guy is now with us. And shout out to Nick Nora. Yeah. And
can't wait for Coach Sage to develop him, right? It's like, I mean, he's in the right spot, and you're happy he didn't go to a smaller school, right? And we got to hopefully for 4 years.
Well, that's the other thing I want to talk about. With this new 5-year deal, I think Christian and I talked about it on Pac-12 last week. With this new 5-year deal, you're going to see guys that need to get playing time right away, because you only get 5 years. If you get injured for 3 of them, so sorry, you don't get to play. That's just how it goes. So you're going to guys are going to start looking for playing time wherever they can get it as soon as they possibly can, which means 4 stars and 5 stars are going to start targeting the best of the G6s, Boise State's, Oregon State, Wazoo, Texas State, Sunbelt in their conference, JMU, Appalachian State.
They don't want to sit.
They don't want to sit, and they shouldn't. You only get 5 years. The way that this is being constructed moving forward, you're going to see some 4 stars and potentially 5 stars going, especially quarterbacks, guys that don't want to sit at Ohio State for 3 to 4 years and then transfer to somewhere else just so they can get playing time. Which, don't get me wrong, Ohio State's still going to have 5 4-star quarterbacks. That's just how it's gonna be. But maybe that one extra 4 or 5-star kid makes the commitment somewhere else. Chad, what are I know you're itching to talk about this ordeal. What do you got going on?
No, I think it kind of just nice little bleed in from our last conversation. I feel like we're positioned really well. I've said it a few times. It's like that nice little middle ground between FCS, All-Americans, Power 4, I need opportunity. But now you have that nice little ripple in there where incoming freshmen need opportunity to play. And I feel like WSU is that top 5, top 10 program in that little circle that really is going to set us up for long-term success. And it's like, kind of like wrap a bow on it, fellas. Like, just give us an opportunity at a CFP. Like, that's all I want, baby. Send me on the road. Send me on the road.
That's what we're talking about. Christian, you've covered the entire Pac-12 and just college football. You have a really good pulse on all college football. What are your thoughts on the new 5-year rule and some of these players? Do you think a lot of G6s are going to get these guys for at least a year or two before they potentially move on to bigger, better things, or stay and try and get drafted out of places like Wazoo?
No, I think this is a huge opportunity and a huge benefit for the group of 6. Because, one, you're exactly what you said. They're going to want to play right away. They're not going to want to go and do take the Nick Saban route and just get a whole bunch of dudes and be the 3rd stringer, even though you were a stud in high school. No, you can go be a stud instead of going to Texas. You can be a stud at UTEP in year 1, like kind of thing. And I think that happens right off the bat. I'll even go out and say I think that's happening already. We're seeing Washington State get 4-star Lavatai over Washington, over some of these other bigger players. We're seeing Texas State get 4-star running back Dalen Gordon when he had offers to Texas and Texas Tech. We're seeing it already happen inside the Pac-12. I think it's going to be even more for the class of 2028. That's what we're really going to see. The recruiting side of things, the younger players are where the group of 6 is really going to shine. What does concern me, though, is I do see it potentially taking a negative impact, though, in the transfer portal. I think the transfer portal could negatively impact it. Where that gets fixed and hopefully is corrected is where the rev share opportunity comes in. If they find a more middle ground there where they actually start holding all teams in the country accountable to that $20.5 million rev share, because we know that's not happening right now. We have teams like Georgia and Ohio State having $40 million rosters at the moment. If they can find that being more of a common ground, then I think you will still have more of a nice even ground among all 138 teams in the country, because you're not going to be able to pay a guy that you think is going to sit on the bench for your 4th running back that could go be number 1 running back at a different school, because that price is rising up for everybody else. The average price at NIL right now, I saw just a report that came out earlier tonight. It normally used to be around, like, I think the position they were talking about was quarterback on average. There's obviously the 1% and stuff, but on average, over the last 2 years, it was around $450,000. Now it's in the $700,000. That's a couple players. That's multiple players that you no longer can have on your squad inside the Power Four. So now they would dwindle down to the other teams inside the FBS. And that's where I think the group of 6 will really shine. And that's why it makes it really competitive. And that's why they have to make sure that it's more than one that appear inside the college football playoffs, because it'll just be an absolute, just not fair.
That's what I'm excited about. A quick segue from this. We're talking about top prospects. We're talking about, new classes and what's being brought in, 4 stars, 5 stars. We brought up Rayshawn Lavatai earlier today. I wanted to also bring up this 2027 class. You got to talk about this 2027 class. Leading the pack is Rayshawn Lavatai. He's rated at an 87 here, but if you go to composite rating, he's actually at a 90, and he's actually a 4-star. We don't get too many 4 stars. And if we go to the bottom, you're going to see something really cool right here. Michael Bumpus led the charge as 96.93 overall. And then you had Jermaine Green, Terry Mixon, Gabe Marks. If you were in that 2012 to 2016, yeah, Gabe, that's when I was back in college along with Chad, Randy Estes, and then look at this, Rayshawn Lavatai nestles right in the top 6 on that. So this is something that you got to be really excited, especially this early. We haven't even started the 2026 year, and we have this guy who's already making a statement, along with Gianni Haynes, cornerback out of Cathedral High School in LA. EJ Coleman out of Folsom. Folsom's a really good powerhouse Northern California program. He's an athlete. I can't remember exactly which 2 positions on the field he plays, but he is he rated at an 86 on here. Lopetai Malupo, apologies if I got that one wrong. Archbishop Reardon in San Francisco, California. He's a defensive lineman. 85 overall is what they have him at. Again, take these with a little bit of a grain of salt. You'll see a lot of players that come in at 3 stars, and they'll be way better than that. Sanasi Maka the second, Deer Valley, Antioch, California. He's an edge, also an 85. Nate Obasanjo, this is a huge in-state get, safety out of Mount Rainier High School over in Des Moines. Yeah, this was a huge one. Also rated an 85. Jetson Gillum out of Bend, Oregon, Mountain View High School, tight end. 6'4", 235 tight end. Gotta love it. Also an 85. Josiah Rand, this is a name you need to circle. I promise you this kid is going to be good.
His film is awesome. He is explosive. I can't wait till he gets more in the weight room. They just get their hands on him, and I think he's going to be a good player for the Cougs.
Yeah,
got to hold on to him. We got a lot of season to go.
Yeah, Josiah Rand, and that's the other thing I love about Josiah Rand too. He's a linebacker. He's going to be with Nyland Brown, Keith Brown, or at least be around those guys. He's going to get some quality tutelage in his tenure, and really be able to set the tone early in his career. But out of Chaminade in West Hills, California, listed at 6'2", 200. He's an 84. I think this might be off. I think by the time you get to signing day, this number is going to be a little closer to 90, in my opinion. There's a couple other guys I think that might make the jump as well, but definitely Josiah Rand. And then Randolph Santiago out of Kailua High School in Kailua, Hawaii, offensive tackle, 6'6", 275, 84 overall. Owen Urosek out of Bakersfield Christian in Bakersfield, California, tight end, 6'4", 215, 84
this is a late
overall.
signing too, because Solomon left, right?
Yes, well, this is still a 2027 class, so it's it's Solomon left.
I guess it kind of happenstance, right?
For those who aren't aware, Nathan Salmon, who was the young man that was with the Chargers, and I think he's from New Zealand. He's no longer on the roster. I believe he has parted ways and moved on in another direction. But getting back to the rest of this class here, Sergio Glover, wide receiver, Rainier Beach, always got a solid program there, and Seattle, Washington, 84 overall. And then Noah Clark, this is another name I'm circling. Really like this kid's film as well. Inglewood High School, Inglewood, California, cornerback, 5'11 and a half, 175, 83 overall. That number I think is going to go up. Colton Richter, defensive end, Shadow Ridge, Las Vegas, Nevada, 6'3", 235, 83 overall. And then boom, right here. You guys are both going to love this, especially you, Christian. I got it right up in your neck of the woods. Ryan Harrington, quarterback, listed at 6'1", 200, 83 overall. This number I really think is going to go up. I don't think this is a true accurate number. I think he's actually higher. This is a huge in-state get. Circle that name. Watch some Washington State high school football this year. You're going to be very impressed about Ryan Harrington and what he's going to bring to the Cougs down the road. Richard Orozco, defensive end, St. John Bosco. Just kind of getting through the rest of these names here. Thomas Dixon, wide receiver from San Joaquin Memorial, Fresno. Adrian Barnett, the Kings Academy, Sunnyvale, California wide receiver. Jaden Harris, Manteca, California athlete. Landon Gunter, offensive tackle, Redwood High School in Visalia, California. And then Tawatai Meredith in Lehigh. We're all too familiar with Lehigh. We've had several players from there. Cam Cooper was one of the big names, defensive end from Lehigh. But Chad, I know I just went through a myriad of players, but I wanted to get your thoughts because you've been following this probably even more closely than I have since your equipment manager days.
Show the cup.
We are not show the cup.
Show the cup. Show the cup.
There it is. We are not even in August. What does this class look like to you over the tenure that you've seen and followed Coug football?
I think, well, I mean, obviously getting a number 6 overall for a WSU recruit, I feel like that's a big deal this early too. Just thinking about Bumpus and even just a few other like 4 stars like Marks, like they were a little bit later in the class too, I feel like, and it was more of just timing and good fit with coaches later there. So I feel like getting this amount and high quality of recruits is great. Getting guys from the Seattle area, like that's what I circle. Also, like, I mean, we had the safety, we have like a safety and I think a wide receiver from the Seattle area. And then like, I don't remember seeing that for quite some time, that focus. And if you were to rewind 6 months ago when we brought the staff on, and then you saw like what their plan was for as far as recruiting in the Pacific Northwest, they obviously all had a plan as far as like up and down the West Coast through Texas, Hawaii. But in the Pacific Northwest, they all had their individual different regions, and you're starting to see the effect there. And that's what's so important. And with these changes that's coming with recruiting and guys only having 5 years to play, you're going to see a pipeline now in the Northwest where guys were thinking like, maybe I go to UW. No, I'm not going to play right away. Like I'm going to go to WSU. I'm going to stay close to home. WSU is a place to go. Great vibes over there. I think we're primed for a good spot. Like, where do we go from here? I hate saying this, Ryan Harrington. I mean, the tape's great. We only have 4 QBs on our roster right now. We need more QBs. I'd like to see another big name thrown there into the competition to create some more fire going into the next season. What else is out there? I trust this coaching staff. I mean, I feel like every guy they brought in, you watch the film, you watch the tape, the size makes sense. They have like they're consistent in the size they want. This defensive line, I need to remind you guys too, like I know we're not on this topic, but this defensive line, this is the biggest defensive line WSU football has ever had since I've been a fan since 2009. We'll go 2007 in high school when I was thinking I was going to go to WSU. So all I have to say is that the everything, like the momentum we have is really great. Everything I see is awesome. Like we're doing all the right things. Coach Moore's doing great. But I mean, like you're only going to get positives from me right now, guys. I'm drinking Kool-Aid.
Let's go.
I'm drinking the craziest Kool-Aid of WSU football
out of a good cup.
I have ever seen. Like, and it's crazy. Like, I mean, I had the last 2 years of Paul Wolf, the first 2 years of Mike Leach, not a lot of wins. I had a losing record. I saw bad. Like all I see is great. Like the athletic department, the higher education, where their mindset is on where WSU athletics needs to go, not just WSU football, but just WSU athletics as a whole, WSU community, where we're going. I'm excited as a Coug man. I'm going to shut up now. That's all I have.
Guys, we are about 35 minutes into this quality July 1st, new Pac-12 After Dark episode, but want to kind of, wrap it up with maybe some final thoughts here and maybe do something a little fun. who are, I guess, the top contenders in this brand new Pac-12? Who's going to be Wazoo's challenge, or who's going to emerge towards the top? Who are the ones that you're circling, going into this new season and just this new era of, you know what? I hope we I hope we learn how to take their number every year. I know, Christian, you gave your input earlier on Pac-12, so I'm going to kick it over to you first. I want to hear who you think are going to be some of the contenders and some of the people that you think Wazoo should look out for in this new season.
I want to be clear. I think that all 8 teams could win this conference in year 1. Like, I think if it could happen. I think there's literally any team in this conference that could win, and it wouldn't shock me. That's how fun I think all these new coaches are in this league. How, there's a lot of optimism behind it. There's a lot of very good teams here. Washington State, I think, is being disrespected. A lot of people will put them in like 5th in that area. I think that they should be seen, at least 1 higher at the very minimum. That's where I would put Washington State. But the new coach thing, nice tip of the cap. I don't hate that. If I had to pick contenders right now, I think it's safe to say Boise State's one of them up there. I think that what they've done in the Mountain West, they made it to the college football playoffs just a few years ago. They continued to win inside that Mountain West, and you're bringing, 5 of the 8 teams from that conference. It makes sense to say, okay, you're a favorite. San Diego State had a really good year last year too. Fresno State has a really good defense, but they also have a quarterback issue. My biggest sleeper, though, other than Washington State, because I do think they're a sleeper, I think Kirby Moore figures it out. Texas State, I think no one's talked about Texas State enough. They have 2 1,000-yard receivers. They have a returning quarterback. They have a very, very good offense. I don't think a lot of people are talking about Texas State. So those are my contenders right now. There's a ton.
There are. Chad,
I mean,
who do you think's kicking the dirt this year?
I mean, as far as like a Coug fan, like experience-wise, like I can't wait for that Boise State game. I want to take it to them. Like that Ashton Genty game, that was tough on me. I think it maybe took a couple of days off my life, the stress that induced. But outside of that, I mean, I look at other teams like San Diego State. I feel like they have a really strong defense. Fresno State has, I think they have the most returning starters on defense. So when you look at games that could be close based off defenses, that's Fresno State, San Diego State games look interesting to me. But I just keep going back to Boise State and circling that. That's a team we lost to recently. I mean, I just kind of look up and down. Like Oregon State, it's always fun. Coach Bray, I bet he has circled that game on the calendar. Can't wait to take it to his alma mater. I can't wait to see how excited he gets after the post-game conference. I'm sure he's going to be locked in and center on that one. But you look up and down, it just comes down to that, September 5th game against UW. I think it's going to set the tone for us. That's all I care about right now.
There is no other team in the Pac-12 that has a non-conference schedule like Washington State. You might even be able to say that there's no other team in the country that has a non-conference schedule like Washington State. They truly have like one of the first true tests of the season to have a really good first impression. I'd say Fresno State probably has the very first because they play on Friday night of the first week of the season against USC. But I mean, obviously the Apple Cup is so important and you get that on the Sunday after everybody else plays and it's a standalone game as well. So, I mean, that first week of the season, you're going to know about multiple contenders. You're getting USC versus Fresno State. Fresno State can be seen as a contender. You're getting Washington State versus Washington. Like you could see Washington State really, if they could kick the Huskies in the mouth right off the bat and you put Kirby Moore on the map right away, that first year coach thing goes out the window. If you beat Washington week 1, it goes out the window. First year coach, what? Like it's gone. You're now a seasoned coach. Yeah.
Chills.
So there's a lot of good things that happen right off the bat for sure.
What's funny is July 1st today, Pac-12 all over everything. Name a social media. It's all over everything. I hopped on with Christian on Locked On Pac-12. Out of all the flags planted, out of all the potential controversial things I said, the one I got torched for was calling Ashton Genty. That's what I said. So mistakes were made, and feel free to go grill me. Yeah, I know. I did that on purpose that time. Yes, it's Ashton Genty. I understand. There's bigger things going on in life, and suck it. I don't know what to tell you. I'm joking. I said Ashton Jonty, and you know what? I made a mistake, and it is what it is.
Right.
Out of all the controversial things I said, that's what I'm going to get torched for. Okay, I love college football. We're going to go ahead and wrap this Palouse Playbook podcast up. I'm Gavin. That's Christian. That's Chad. This is Up West Sports. Make sure to stay locked in. We got some player interviews coming your way.